Welcome to the Clubhouse on a Saturday night, thanks to 50upclub.com. And now, here's your host with the most, Glenn Wheeler.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say that, but I'm just like everybody else here at the radio station, really, just doing my bit. On a Saturday night, lovely to have your company too. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dan Mullins, for warming the audience up as he so wonderfully does on a Saturday afternoon, and now he's heading off into the sunset to enjoy his Saturday night. Look, whatever you've got planned tonight, stick with us because we're here until 12 o'clock, as a matter of fact, midnight. It's a 6-hour marathon on a Saturday night, and we love every minute of it, particularly between 6 and 7 p.m, the Clubhouse, because our good mates at 50 Up Club, sponsor of the Clubhouse on a Saturday night, are doing some wonderful things. During the week, the first big announcement was made. In fact, it was made on the Alan Jones Breakfast Show, I believe, with a super-duper deal on car insurance, one of the most commonly nominated areas that I think most of us have issues with. And I've been out of the country all this week, so I've only just arrived back here today. I missed the announcement. I've missed all the detail and all the fine print, although I'm sure there's not too much fine print because from what I'm hearing, everyone's pretty happy about it. I thought I'd invite David Issa, the CEO of the 50 Up Club, to join us tonight and tell us what it's all about. He's on the line. G'day, David. Hello, David.
Hi.
Gotcha.
How are you?
Yeah, good. So a big week for 50 Up. We make the first big announcement, and by the sounds of things, everyone's pretty excited about it all. Give us a story. Cheaper car insurance. It's something that always gets our attention.
Yeah, no, it's been a fantastic result. We've got a $100 minimum guaranteed saving on your comprehensive car insurance from Coles Car Insurance, and we've already had hundreds of people take it up, and we've got people saving anywhere from $100 to $200, $300, and $100 and more. So people are telling us they're getting some real savings out of it, which is very pleasing.
Well, that is good. What's involved in, for example, switching? Because I know that, you know, on occasions when I've looked at changing over from one supplier to another, be it car insurance or whatever it might be, there is that issue sometimes that you know clouds our thinking. We think, well, hang on, I'm already locked into another provider. Can I get out of an existing arrangement? And if so, are there penalties and costs involved?
Switching is pretty simple, really. The thing with car insurance, you're not locked into any sort of contract, so you can switch at any time. There are, in some cases, some cancellation fees, so they can range from $0 to $30. Mm-hmm. But when you're saving hundreds of dollars, it really does make it worth your while to get on there and switch. And even if you've paid your car insurance a year in advance, you will get a refund for what you don't use, and then you, as I said, will have a small cancellation fee to pay in some cases. But when you're saving hundreds of dollars, it sure makes a whole lot of sense to go there and switch.
There is no doubt about that, and in fact, I had a look earlier on today at some of the feedback that 50 Up Club has been receiving from many of the members who have obviously jumped on board straight away, and in fact, we're going to talk to one of them shortly, who jumped in quickly to take advantage of the deal and did very well, apparently. But what you say average savings of you know, a couple of $100, so from $100 up to $200-$300, depending upon the circumstances, is it? Yeah,
that's right. It's a minimum $100. The guarantee is $100 at least, so you know you're going to get that. And then depending on your circumstances, depending on what insurer you're coming from, you can save, as I said, in the multiple of hundreds. And there's lots of people, the hundreds of people that have already switched this week, telling us what they've been saving, and some cases it's actually quite outstanding what they're saving. So it's a great result for the 50 Up Club to be able to bring these sort of savings to the members.
Funny little side story, David. I was in Bali just this last week, and last night before I left the island, I was in a restaurant, and there was a couple of people who were at a table just near me who came over to say good day when they were leaving the restaurant. And the conversation got around to, they knew that I did radio here on 2GB, etc. The funny thing was that they were very incredibly, they were happy to talk about, you know, radio and all that sort of stuff, as people often are, but the one thing that came up very early in the conversation was the 50 Up Club, and they were just chuffed by the fact that, you know, this campaign is happening at the moment, and they said, oh, you know, we're looking forward to finding out what's going on, etc., etc. Like me, they were out of the country, so they hadn't heard about the car insurance deal, but there's obviously a lot of people like them who are out there at the moment who have joined and are waiting to now see, how many more opportunities like car insurance can be forthcoming, because the surveys that you guys have done have provided you with a whole bunch of information to suggest that there are many areas where we can be more cost effective if we've got pulling power.
That's right. I mean, this whole people power movement really does work. We've got over 40,000 people now signed up.
40,000?
40,000 now, yep. It's been 4 weeks and we've had 40,000 people. So people out there are really wanting to get some value out of this. They think by coming together in this movement and us being able to use those numbers to go and negotiate better deals for them, they're really keen to be part of this movement. So I think the first offer here has shown that we can do it. The more people that join, obviously, the more power we've got to be able to go and negotiate these deals. The other area that we're really trying to negotiate a good deal on is electricity. People are telling us that they're really hurting as far as power bills are going, and the way they've gone up. So that's the one we're working on really hard. But the more people that sign up, the more numbers we've got, the better we're going to be able to go and negotiate these deals and the sort of better deals we can get.
So obviously it's not too late to join up anyway, because people can still join up. It is free, it's easy and all of that sort of thing. But is it not too late to join up and take advantage of the car insurance deal?
No, you can join up now and take advantage of this car insurance deal. As you said, it's easy, it's obligation free. Sign up, go have a look at the deal, and I think you'll save money. So you can still get on there and take advantage of it.
All happy when it comes to saving money, whether it's $100, whether it's $300, whatever it is. Money in our pocket's better off than in somebody else's. Don't you agree?
No, that's exactly right.
Good on you, David. It's heading in the right direction. Love the sound of all of that. Thank you for chatting to us tonight.
All right, thanks, mate, very much. Have a good night.
No problem. David Issa, the CEO of 50 Up Club. Now, they said right from the start that they would be out to find better deals for us, and there we are. The first one has been done, using the combined buying power of, as David Issa just said there, 40,000 plus people. It's an incredible number of people. And the deal has been done with Coles Car Insurance. Now, the insurance deal is such that they guarantee to beat your current price by at least $100 if you're 50 and over in New South Wales, and you switch your comprehensive car insurance policy to Coles Car Insurance. And you can typically switch at any time without waiting for your renewal to arrive, which is an important point. I wasn't 100% sure of that, I must say. But as David's just pointed out there, it's very straightforward, and there may be a small penalty involved, but $30 is a cheap price to pay if at the end of the day you can save $100 or possibly even more. If you're not a member, it's not too late to join. Jump on the line now and do it. 50upclub.com. It's quite simple and it's easy, and you just put your details in there and you can take advantage of not only this car insurance deal, but of course a whole stack of other offers that will be rolling out as well. I'll have a chat to one of our listeners, in fact, who has jumped on the deal, and we'll get it from the horse's mouth to see how he feels about it all. And I believe he's also a guy who has spent a bit of time actually shopping around to get a good deal in the past with various utilities and the like. And he's on the line there. G'day, Phil.
G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm well. Now, I'm told, rightly or wrongly, that this isn't the first time that you've shopped around. You're a bit of a savvy consumer. You like to keep an eye on prices.
Mate, every year I shop around and do 5 or 6 shops.
Which is remarkable, really, because for the average Joe Blow, and I'll put myself in that bucket, I would love to do it, but I think to myself, I haven't got the time, make all the calls and check everything out.
When you're my age, every dollar counts.
Yeah.
And I know over the years that, gee, mate, there's so much variation in insurance prices. Yeah. I've had quotes of up to $3 or $4 grand. Other quotes for $500 or $600. So you've got to shop around.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable, isn't it? Because there's the other issue, and I meant to make the comment to David Issa, but the beauty of what they're doing with 50 Up is that by jumping on now and saving $100, the cynic could say, "Oh, yeah, but next year they'll up your insurance premiums, and they'll slog you again."
Exactly.
But if they do, 50 Up is out there to shop around, and they might find a better deal with somebody else.
Mate, that's exactly what you do. You shop around again. Like if the buggers try to do that, well, you start all over again.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, I like the sound of the fact that you've had a go. You've jumped in there. You've already saved some dough, and let's look forward to more deals down the track.
Mate, I've just told 5 of my good mates down the coast where we are now, sitting around outdoors having a beer, and they're going to do exactly the same. It is so easy with 50 Up Club.
Well done, Phil. We should put you on a spotter's fee. 5
No,
mates.
I don't want a spotter's fee, mate. You guys are doing a marvellous job.
Good on you, Phil.
Thank you.
Many thanks for chatting to us. One of our listeners here on 2GB loves the 50 Up Club, and why wouldn't he? He's saved himself $100. That'll buy him a few beers to sit down around the campfire or wherever he is down the south coast. Wouldn't mind doing that myself this afternoon. 16 after 6 here on 2GB. This is the Clubhouse. I'm Glenn Wheeler. Just hearing Alan Jones talking about Peters of Kensington. I'll tell you what, there is a shop that if you've never been to Peters of Kensington to do any special event shopping or Christmas shopping, you've got to do it. It's fantastic. It is a great place to shop. It's fun. They're very professional. This is not a paid commercial. I just love Peters of Kensington. It's just a great place to go. And when you drive past the joint, the big pink building on whatever it is, what's the name of the road there, the main drag through Kensington. I've forgotten the name of the road. Where is it? Anzac Parade. Anzac Parade. Exactly. When you drive past, you look at it and you think, oh, yeah, it's just a big pink warehouse. But it's a magnificent building. And inside there is just so much. You've got everything, absolutely everything. You can spend a lot, you can spend a little, you can get a gift wrapped. As Alan just said there's a cafe and all that sort of stuff. And at this time of the year, Peters of Kensington really comes alive. I mean, they are just outstanding. And if you haven't got time to go there, jump online because they've got a fabulous website. Just speaking there with David Issa from 50 Up Club. And it's interesting because I mentioned there that I met some people last night, 2GB listeners, who were enjoying a holiday, pardon me, up in Bali. And I, over the course of the last week, bumped into quite a number of people, certainly over 50, who were holidaying and, all had different stories to tell about how they do the holiday thing. But there was a central theme in all of it because I'm always curious as to why people go to certain places and what they're looking for in a holiday. And the one thing that they all said was very similar to what Phil, our listener from the South Coast, just said, that they wanted value for money, but they wanted to have a great holiday at the same time. They every penny counted. And I think Phil used that term, every dollar matters. And they said the same thing, we're not flushed with cash. We can live pretty happily in retirement, hopefully for many, many more years to come, but we still want to be able to enjoy the good stuff and have a holiday and stay in a nice place and go out for dinner or lunch or whatever the case might be. So this is where all of this business of shopping around for a great deal comes into play, and hence the whole concept of the 50 Up Club. It's interesting because 1 in every 3 Australians are actually over 50. But research suggests companies only spend 10% of their sales budget focusing on 55 plus. It's an extraordinary statistic. So there are so many people who are 55 plus, but only 10% of many companies' budgets is spent to market to that age group. It's quite remarkable. The Australian Human Rights Commission found that many 50-ups experience what they call product invisibility, being overlooked by corporate Australia. They found that over 60% of Australians 55 and over have experienced being ignored. And we heard from somebody last week on the show who made mention of that very fact that, I walked into I think they were talking about a retail experience, and they were saying how, it felt as if they just didn't belong. They weren't there. Nobody could see them. And yet, the 50-ups have disposable income as well. Hello, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Over 60% of the Australian community actually feel that the portrayal of over 55s in the media, generally speaking, is unfair. And one of the things that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago on the program was in relation to age discrimination. We spoke to Susan Ryan, the Age Discrimination Commissioner, about that very matter because, as we learnt last week with the Productivity Commission report, if in fact the retirement age, the pension age, gets pushed up to 70 years of age, it means that many of us will be working longer, which also means that employers are going to very much have to change their mindset in terms of, out with the old and in with the new. They should be looking at the experience and looking at the opportunity to work with people who have got a lot to offer, a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of savoir-faire, if you like. So, changing times, very much so. If you've got a story in relation to, 50 up, being over 50, and problems that you've experienced that really, get on your nerve, you might like to share it with us. 131873. What is it that really annoys you the most? There are many people who I hear say, I love this stage of life because it's good. The kids are off our hands. Well, not always. Not always off your hands. Mine certainly aren't, but they're they're young adults, so they're not as dependent as when you had little babies and all that sort of caper. So is it really just a good fun time in your life? But there are some speed humps along the way and a few obstacles. You might like to share some of them with us if there are some pet hates that you have about being 50 plus. 131873 is the number. Give us a call. Love to hear from you. You can also email us at the website 2gb.com. And terrible story in the news today, which you may have already heard on our news bulletin, about the 18-year-old bodyboarder who was killed by a shark attack at Campbell Beach near Coffs Harbour in northern New South Wales. Dan Mullins mentioned this and spoke to one of the authorities during his program this afternoon, but the man's believed to be from Port Macquarie. He died from injuries after being bitten by the shark. In fact, the shark apparently bit him on the legs, on both legs, and it would sound as if he's been so badly mauled by the shark that he's actually bled to death. He was surfing with friends about 100 metres north of Coffs Harbour at an unpatrolled beach. They always warn about these unpatrolled beaches, and he's also believed to have suffered a heart attack. Well, I guess it's probably inevitable. 18 years of age, attacked by a shark, dreadful stuff. So when the lifeguards recommend on a regular basis that we don't swim at unpatrolled beaches, I guess they do it for a reason. Budapest to Amsterdam. How would you like to join me next year? August the 6th, we depart for 15 days, and people rave about Avalon Waterways when they do one of their fabulous European river cruises. And next year, you and I can do one together. But be quick, because the inquiries are rocking and rolling in thick and fast, and in fact the cabins are being snapped up as well. If you're interested in joining us, don't hold back. We've only got 15 cabins. It is a small group tour departing August of next year. I'm hosting the tour with my wife, Michelle. We're going to have a fabulous time. We're looking forward to it very much. And with Avalon, of course, the onboard inclusions are amazing, with all the meals taken care of, complimentary beer and wine with dinner. And their all-suite ships mean that you've got an incredible panorama of the passing countryside at every opportunity as well. Really beautiful stuff. And some of the places we'll visit along the way: Vienna, Nuremberg, Cologne, Bratislava, as well as Budapest, of course, and Amsterdam, and a whole heap of other places too. 15 fabulous days, priced from $7,165 per person. If you'd like to find out more about it, give Avalon Waterways a call on 1300 230 234. Write it down, 1300 230 234. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday night. The last Saturday night we'll be together in November, because it all goes pear-shaped from I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. It's Christmas after tomorrow, 1st of December. Is tomorrow the 1st of December? Is it, Geordie? It is. Little Geordie, my little panel operator tonight. He hasn't been with me for weeks and months, but he's back tonight by popular demand. 1st of December tomorrow, which means Christmas officially in full swing. So I think it would be a little bit presumptuous of us to talk too much about Christmas tonight. However, between now and 7 o'clock, I've got a couple of great Christmas events that are happening around the town that you might be interested in, including a place to go to get your own fabulous Aussie Christmas tree. Homegrown, folks. You can go and pick it, cut it, and cart it home yourself. The real McCoy. Yeah, beauty. Gotta go and get a Christmas tree tomorrow, love. And then you drag it home. You know, the worst part about live Christmas trees, though, is when Christmas is over. What do you do with the bloody thing? We had a house once, and I think we had about 3 years worth of Christmas trees stacked down the side of the house because I used to go and just hurl them over the balcony. Anyway, I digress. Speaking of houses, been a busy day on the real estate front today. In fact, it was touted as being the busiest day ever as far as property auctions went. And of course, the boys at Cooley Auctions, Sydney's premier auction house, I reckon they'd be in for, they'd be up for new gavels after today. I don't know how many properties they would have auctioned, but I reckon there would have been a fair few. Andrew Cooley from Cooley Auctions joins us tonight to say g'day. G'day, Andrew.
Hey, Glenn. How you going?
I'm well. Have the gavels been put in for retreads or what?
Mate, they certainly have. They certainly have. We had a massive day out there today.
What's the story? So how many properties do you estimate went under the hammer?
Look, today in the Sydney market, it was actually one of the biggest single days in the history of Sydney. Today, approximately over some 900 properties went under the hammer today.
Wow, 900 properties.
So it was a big day.
That's extraordinary.
Yeah, as a business today, we had 102 properties go for sale, and mate, we had a great day. We sold 74% of those properties.
Yeah, that's good. That's impressive. So 74% of over 200 properties going to auction. What about? Are you still finding that properties in this market, while the market is hot, there's no doubt about it, are you still finding that many properties are doing deals, or many vendors are doing deals, ahead of auction day?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, we find on average approximately most months you see normally about 30 to 33, 34% of properties do sell prior, and that's a simple indication of buyers trying to get in before auction day and try and secure these homes whilst they can, because we are seeing such big results, as you mentioned.
It doesn't surprise me because, I think it's when the market is bubbling along as it is now, it becomes infectious as well, and people talk about it, and anybody that's in that mindset at the moment of thinking about selling a property should really be, and I've said this to Damien in weeks gone by, they should be doing something about it now. Don't wait and let the bus pass by, and then, halfway through next year think to yourself, oh, gee, I wish I'd have done something about that, because sometimes, these fits and bursts in real estate don't last forever.
That's true. It certainly is true. And we're finding now this is the strongest it's been since the boom in 2003. So if you're a buyer or if you're a seller, now certainly is the time to get into the market.
You're going.
Just a couple of classic examples today. We had a property that was marketed by Anthony Papadopoulos of Elja Hooker at Sans Souci. It was 42 Toya Avenue in Sans Souci. Now, they had a reserve of $790,000. They had 17 registered bidders, and it sold for $1,003,000, $213,000 over its reserve.
Wow.
And look, another classic example, 17 Bayside Place, Caringbah South. Luke Cassicelli from Cassicelli Partners Real Estate had a reserve of $2.3 million and sold for $2,730,000.
Wow.
15 registered, $430,000 over its reserve. So if that's not an indication of if you're thinking of selling, now's the time. I don't know what is.
The thing about this is that this really underscores the value of auctions, and it's easy to poo-poo auctions in a flat market or a market that's just so. But this is where the auction process really comes into its own, because the good agent, and Luke could be an example of it there. The good agent goes along, looks at the property, and to his best estimates, based on recent sales in the area, etc., can put a figure on it. But of course, that's only a guesstimate based on a few facts and figures that are before him. It's you throw that out the window when you get those 12, 13 or 14 interested parties together that all say, hang on, I want to buy this joint.
Well, look, can I give you a classic example of that? Was today we had an auction at 5 Ocean Place, Illawong. Now, prior to the agent listing the property, the vendor wanted to put the property up for a sale price. And they wanted to put the property up for a sale price at $850,000. Given the strength of the market, the agent, which was Chris Harding from Reed Harding Real Estate, he said, no, let's take price away, let's put it to auction and see what the buyers say. Now, they would have listed that home for $850,000 today we sold it with 5 registered bidders for $916,000. So that's $66,000 above what would have been its reserve price.
Yep. And there you go. See, we sold our family home round about this time last year, and I know only too well that having sold various properties that we've had over the years, I know only too well that if we'd have been selling our place now, we would have done better at sale than we did 12 months ago. However, and I always like to stress this because I think it's important, we then were buying something in that same market which we wanted to buy at the time. And it's all relative. So, whilst if we had waited 12 months, we could have got a few more bucks for our place, that place that we were going to buy either A, wouldn't have been on the market, or B, would have been more expensive also.
That's right. Yeah, 100%.
So people have to realise all of that. What about just in the auction process, Andrew? I think it's important that we just maybe touch on a few of the, the tips, people that are going to be going to auctions between, now and Christmas, because it's still not too late to go and buy property before Christmas.
No. In actual fact, next weekend, as a business, we find it's actually going to be busier again than this weekend. The 7th of December and the 14th of December are 2 really big days of real estate. And even the 21st of December, I personally feel agents will be selling property right up until Christmas Eve.
Fascinating. So there we are. See, there's another option. If you're a savvy listener out there at the moment and you really want to buy the family something different this Christmas, and you're sick of just the shoes and socks and undies and all that sort of stuff, buy them a new house. Go out and buy them. Go and buy a property, right? Go to one of Cooley's auctions and just turn up there and bid, and walk away with a new property. Come home. Imagine that. Can you do gift certificates, like gift vouchers, and say, congratulations, you've just bought a new house, and they put that under the tree. Imagine the delight on Christmas Day when the family wakes up and, Dad, what did you buy us? Anything? There it is. It's in that envelope. Open it up.
Just an investment property. And look, we joke about that, but funnily enough, we're actually finding at the moment that properties up to around about $1 million, a lot of parents are actually chipping in now and really helping out their kids to purchase homes. So it wouldn't surprise me if under the Christmas tree for some of these people might be a little voucher of some sort.
We discussed this very point with Damien last week on the show because we were also talking about that in relation to the 50 Up Club, which is this movement of people over the age of 50 banding together to say we deserve a better deal in so many areas, whether it's electricity or insurance or what it is. And one of the points that was identified very early in the piece with the 50 Up Club is exactly what you've just mentioned there and what I spoke to Damien about last week, that there are many over 50-year-old, 55-year-olds, etc., who are doing just what you said, helping out, throwing a few bucks in there and maybe putting the deposit down, taking a mortgage on their own place because it's paid for, and, just helping them to get a foot on the ladder.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, listen, if you're going to an auction, for those who might be going to an auction between now and December, particularly for those who, aren't all that familiar, and let's face it, I think that would be most people who aren't all that familiar because real estate's not something that most people do every other day of the week. What are some of the tips for the the novice bidders?
Look, I think if you're in the market at the moment and you're looking to buy, there's some great opportunities out there at the moment. My personal opinion is if you're bidding at auction, it's really important to go to the auction with a set budget in mind, have an understanding of what you're prepared to spend and what your capacity is of spending, and try and stick to that. Also, I think it's a great idea to bid confidently. You want to show the market that you're there to buy the home at no matter what cost it might be. So bid confidently. I think it's important to have an understanding of where you are positioned in terms of finance, and try and stick to that guide if you can.
Yeah, it's interesting you say about bid confidently because I think of many auctions that I've been to over the years, and particularly in recent times at some of the local auction houses around where I live, Highland Auctions, for example, their auction rooms have been, I was going to say standing room only. I think hanging from the rafters would be a better way to describe it. Yeah. and I've seen people who are registered bidders at the auctions there on numerous occasions. It's like a returning serve, and as that ball has been hit down, they're straight back in with a return volley with their bid, and the confidence that some bidders display is actually quite frightening. Because if you were also in that battle, and you've got somebody sitting on the other side of the room, that every time you say 710, 720,
Glenn, it happened today. I sold a property today where the buyer, I said to the buyer, I said, "Sir, can we say another 1,000?" And he said, "What's the point? He's just going to keep on going." And interestingly, when it sold, the other buyer who bought it actually said,